Hey everyone! This week I'm going to focus on the new tax bill that's making its way through Congress. The new bill has passed the House of Representatives, but it still has to go through the Senate, then ultimately be signed by the President. So some changes could still be made, but I think we have a pretty good framework to offer a preliminary assessment of how the new tax rules could affect commercial real estate investment. Now, I want to reiterate that this isn't a done deal yet, and there's a lot of things in this bill. So I'm only going to highlight some of the things that I consider to be particularly relevant to commercial real estate investors. The tax bill could change, and I'm not a tax accountant, so anything I say in this video should be validated with a tax professional once the new tax rules are finalized. That said, I think there are some really promising attributes for commercial real estate in the current version of the bill that have a good probability of making it through the reconciliation process. For the most part, this proposal simply refreshes the 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act, but it does add a few things. One piece of good news for investors, commercial real estate syndicators, and equity funds is that the current bill does not make any changes to 1031 tax-deferred exchanges or to carried interest. That's something I was concerned about because almost every time Congress makes changes to the tax rules, those two provisions come under fire. So here are some of the provisions of the new tax bill as approved by the House. The new tax would increase the state and local tax deduction, also known as the SALT deduction, from $10,000 to $40,000 starting in 2025. Under the current bill, the SALT deduction would phase out at higher income levels. It's possible the deduction value could change before the bill's finalized, but $40,000 is the most recent figure. Another provision of the new bill would increase the gift and estate tax exclusion to $15 million for single filers and $30 million for married couples filing jointly. Now, for commercial real estate investors, there are several other positive provisions in the House version. The qualified business income, or QBI deduction, would increase from 20% to 23%, and this provision would become permanent. The new bill also renews bonus depreciation for qualified property. The bonus first-year depreciation deduction under Section 168K is extended through 2029. Under the bill, taxpayers can claim 100% bonus depreciation on qualified property acquired and placed in service after January 19, 2025 and before January 1, 2030. The Section 179 bonus depreciation cap would be raised to $2.5 million, allowing businesses to expense 100% of the cost of qualifying equipment and software. The new bill would also reestablish opportunity zones for taxable years 2027 through 2033 with similar but modified benefits in temporary deferral of capital gains taxes, basis step-up, and exclusion of taxable income on new gains. It looks like the new opportunity zone rules will be a bit different this time around, so once the bill is finalized, investors will want to review the new specifications carefully. Now, as I mentioned earlier, the bill has to go through the Senate and there will likely be some changes, but if the bonus depreciation rules in particular make it through, it will be a significant win for commercial real estate investors. It will reinforce the value of doing a cost segregation study on properties and value-add investments where the property is upgraded may generate higher after-tax returns over the short term. Having 100% bonus depreciation could bolster the first-year returns on newly acquired properties, and it will be particularly helpful for investors when you factor in the higher interest rate climate. And that's part of the downside of the new bill. The numbers vary depending on the source, but the new tax bill will likely increase the federal deficit. According to the Tax Foundation, the deficit would increase by an extra $2.6 trillion over 10 years. The Penn-Wharton budget model predicts an increase ranging between $2.8 trillion and $4.3 trillion over 10 years, and the Congressional Budget Office pegs the deficit increase at $3.8 trillion over 10 years. regardless of whether this new tax bill increases the deficit by the low end of $2.8 trillion or stretches to the high end of $4.3 trillion, the deficit increase suggests additional Treasury issuance will be required. And as I shared in last week's video, the increased issuance of debt poses a risk of higher interest rates in the future. So, as I said earlier, the new tax bill still has to navigate the Senate, but several of the key provisions in this version of the bill will benefit commercial real estate investment in 2025 and beyond. That said, stay tuned for revisions. And as always, keep your eyes on the horizon.